Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And we're gonna have another look at the crawler course, the mini crawler course that I've been working on over the last couple months. This is episode I think 4 of the series. Just wanted to give a quick update. It's been a few weeks since I've done anything on the course on YouTube, so I figured I better give you an update, let you know where I'm at and how far I've gotten. So it's come a good distance since the last video. We've pretty much got her, I'm just going to back up here for a sec, we just pretty much got her all painted now, and we started to lay in some details like the rock and so forth in there. So if we go through it, we'll start kind of with the paint. So I've done it with a gray. I went with a really darker gray. It dried darker than I thought it would, but I kind of like how the effect is. So what I've done is where I've painted it the dark gray, I've gone back over it with a lighter gray, especially in the areas that I'm going to be running. Right here is my first original paint. It's kind of hard to see, guys, sorry about the lighting here, it's real shitty, but this was the original. So it was the dark gray, and then I went through it with a brown and then mixed it in with the gray and kind of to mimic a bit of dirt, but I didn't like it. I didn't like how it turned out. I do like the dark gray on the walls and stuff of the mountain here. And so what I did is I went back, and you can see here I kind of dry brushed on this lighter gray. I'll show you the paints that I used. You can really see it on here. So the edges are the dark gray, and then I did all the dark gray underneath, and then I dry brushed it with this lighter gray. And the paints that I used, so the dark gray is this Artist Loft. I got it at Michael's. It dries with a nice rough surface, so I wasn't too worried about it being too slippery, but it does dry nice and kind of rough and matte, like it's a matte finish. It's not a shiny finish. So I used that as the main color, so all down in here, right in here, and then I went over top of it with a dry brush. You can see it here, some of the details. Let me get my head out of the way. The lighting is really bad in here. It's just it's a room in my house, so I apologize for that, guys. I'm gonna try and work on getting better lighting for the course. So yeah, you can see how I dry brushed it. If I get in a little bit closer there, you can see the difference in the two colors. So that is, I couldn't find the same paint in a lighter gray, so I went with this Liquitex Basics acrylic. So both are acrylic, and it dried a little smoother, like a little more, not as rough, a little more slippery. So I might have to do some gripping in some areas, and I'll show you what I've been doing for that in a second. Yeah, so that's the paint that I used. So I'm going to go back to this corner here. I'm going to be fixing this here. And this was all that brown too, and I've gone over it with the lighter gray on top. And the edges are still the dark gray. God damn, I hate the lighting in here. I apologize for that. But yeah, so that's the paint side of it. And then after I got it all painted, except for that, I just finished that this week, I started to lay down some rock. So this rock is actually glued there, and there's some loose in it, but not a whole lot. You can see that it's, so I didn't want a lot of this stuff coming out onto the floor, because as you can see I have carpet in here because it is a room in my house. So what I did is I used glue and glued it down, let it set overnight, and took off a lot of the excess, which I'm thinking I'm going to put more loose rock down. I just didn't want a whole bunch of it coming apart onto the floor, so I did glue that down. It gave it a nice look. I do like how it looks. So I've done that through the whole bottom of the course. This is a little looser. I will go back to that in a sec. So yeah, so through all the areas of the course in the bottom where I had no rocks or any, just a open area, I put that rock down. And that rock, I started with, I bought a couple bags of this aquarium, natural aquarium rock, and it was really good, but the problem being that's a 4-pound bag, so very small, like you can see beside my hand, not a lot of rock there, and it was like $9. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a 50-pound bag, 25 kilo bag of Quikrete all-purpose gravel, and that's basically exactly what you get. A nice small gravel. The shitty thing is, excuse my language, is it's not cleaned. Where that stuff, it comes pre-cleaned, this stuff it did not, so I had to wash it. So I just bought a steel colander at the dollar store and would fill it up, wash a bunch of rock, dry it, and start laying it down. So I did get into the tunnel. I didn't go all the way into the tunnel yet. Never thought about what I was going to do when I built the tunnel, but that side I got in there pretty far. Here, let me turn. I do have lights in that tunnel, so we can kind of see how far in I went. There. So if you look into the tunnel, you can kind of see where it ends there on the wood surface. But I got pretty far in there, so it's not bad. I'll probably do a little bit more. I can get more in there. I just haven't gone that far. I wanted to get the main area done. So yeah, so that's the rock that I laid down. And now on the next step that I've been doing, I've got the ladder done, or the bridge done there. I painted it up and got it looking better. Is started to put some rock and detail on the ramps that I've got here, these ups, and you know, I really wish I might have done a little bit different of course build, maybe some more extreme obstacles, but like I said, this is in my house. It is in a bedroom that I use for my RC shop. My wife allowed me to do this in the house, so I didn't want to bring in a lot of dirt and mud and, you know, make a mess. I do have carpet on the floor. Like I said, this is an actual room in my house. It's one of the biggest rooms in the finished basement, so I took this as my RC shop last year when we moved here. Reasoning, we bought a 5-bedroom house, so I had somewhere for my RCs, not out in the goddamn garage. So yeah, so we did all that. Now I've just started to put some detail up onto these ramps. So I've glued down some rock, and again, I'm just gluing it down with Elmer's Glue All. Works like a charm. I like it in these squeeze bottles because you can put, you know, where you want your glue to be, and you put a good amount down there. Like, this is all glued in there. It ain't loose or anything anymore. I didn't want it falling all over the floor and everything in here and having the vacuum up rocks every day. So I glue them down, and then in smaller areas I put down this grip. And this grip you can mix in with this I'll show you what it is. You can mix that in with your acrylic paint, and I think that's what I'm going to do here. When I repaint this, is I'm going to mix in some of that sand gravel, whatever the heck you want to call it. I think it's called jar gravel, and I'm going to mix it in the paint when I paint this. When I dry brush this a little bit, I'll mix some of it in with the paint, and if it doesn't work, then I can just glue it down. Right here is where it's going to be slippery, and that's a good angle there, and the trucks do have a little bit of an issue getting up that without some wheel speed, but I might not have to do it. We'll see. I do have a little bit here that I tested, and it glued on okay, but I haven't Mod Podged that. So what I've done here with this stuff is I just lay down the rocks, let the rocks dry, and then I thought it just for more detail I would put some of the looser around. I might do more in here. Like, I kind of like the gray, the way that I've got the gray there. But so yeah, I just put the smaller stuff down. Once you let it dry, you just put down some glue, and you take it. I just take mine in a little jar here, and I sprinkle it on, push it down with my finger. Just get your fingers wet. I have a little bit of water all the time and a wet rag, and then the glue won't stick to your fingers, and you just push it in. And if you see the glue starting to come up a little bit, then I just add some more, and then you just push it back in again, and it works really well. You let it dry, and then I cover it. Once it's all dry and the rocks are dry, I just spray on a couple coats of this Mod Podge Ultra, and it's a matte sealer, I guess. It's a glue and sealer. You can buy it pre-mixed like this, so you can buy the Mod Podge and mix your own, but I bought this, I think it was 11 bucks Canadian. So I bought that, and I just spray it on, and now you can see that it's like sandpaper. It doesn't it's not loose or anything. It'll give good grip. The tires will grip on that really well. And that stuff I got, believe it or not, found a whole bunch of it. at the dollar store. So this is what it looks like. So yeah, $2.25 for 27 ounces or 780 grams of it, which is quite a bit. And it's just like crystallized sand, like you can get it in all different colors. So I've got, like, that's kind of a blacky dark gray. I've got kind of a brown color here, and then I've got a lighter gray here. So I just take those and mix them together in a small container like so, and you get that certain color like that right there. I just mixed it in there, and then you just put it down and let it dry and Mod Podge it over it. So yeah, that stuff works really good, and I got that at my local dollar store. So that's how I'm kind of starting to finish off here. I won't do a lot more, you know, in the centers and that. I kind of like how I've got the rocks here. I might put some of the gripper on the rock, just to, this stuff here, just kind of sporadically glue it on the rocks that I've formed here. But yeah, so we've got lots more to go. I do have I've got some moss here that I'm gonna, you know, glue onto the sides too, just to get more realism. So I've got a bag of that stuff. I think I got that at Michael's, where I got the paint. And I also have a container of, this is railroad stuff for the railroad guys. This is the Woodlands bushes, so you can take that out. It's really loose, and you can glue it in smaller batches in smaller places. I think it'll be easier to glue this stuff and then Mod Podge over top of it, and you'll be good. So like, I'll do a bunch on the front of this, you know, in the tunnel here. I'll put a whole bunch of this stuff somewhere. We'll figure it all out. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with the course. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Oh yeah, in here, I know a lot of guys like to have the mud pits or rock pits, and they use the airsoft pellets, the camel pellets that you can buy, the big container, like 5,000 of those little pellets, and it acts like a mud pit. I used real rock. I'm going to see how that works out. It's finished rock. It's not very deep. I might have to make this a little deeper. I do have room here. I'll get down low here for you. I'll make room here. You know, I've got room here to get it deeper. It's just here, I kept it kind of shallow there, so it's only about an inch deep, I guess. Right, and then on the edge here, I can always this is just spray foam to put the edge on the course here. It's just all spray foam, so I've got more spray foam. I can just probably build this up maybe a little bit more. I do have another couple bags to put in there. So yeah, I just bought that stuff at the dollar store too, and it's polished, right? So it's a little slippery, just something for the trucks to try and work their way through. I do have another couple bags right here. So this is what I put in there. I didn't want to use the pellets. I wanted to make it as natural as I could, because I didn't do it as everybody else's courses with real dirt and real mud and, you know, the big rocks and stuff. I'm kind of wishing I would have kept an area that maybe in here, put some better rock or built some better obstacles, more challenging obstacles. But for being in my house and being in my hobby room here, which is, like I said, a completely finished room in my basement. It's one of 5 bedrooms in the house that I turned into my RC room, so I don't have to hang out in the cold garage in the middle of winter. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the course. Just wanted to give you a quick update, let you know where I'm at and how it's coming along and what I've done. I'll do another video, you know, in a little while. I'm going to take a break, I think, from the course shortly for a while. Spring is coming. We're at the end of February here, just about to start March, and I've got some builds. 110, I got to get back into my 110s. I've got a RC 4-wheel drive TF2 flat deck build plan here that's sitting in the box, just staring at me, waiting to be built. And yeah, I've got my trucks to get ready. I've got a local gathering, I guess you would call it, coming up here in May, about 2.5 hours from me. It's called Run for the Drum in Drumheller, Alberta. It's big hoodoos and stuff where they find all the damn dinosaurs. They do a run out there every year, so I kind of want to attend that. So I got to get some of my 110s done. I'll probably, no doubt, be taking a 124s for sure, but yeah, I want to get some 110s ready to go for that, so I can make it to that and enjoy that first run of the year. So yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for subscribing. And Tony, CCRXRC, thanks for subscribing to my channel. He popped by yesterday to have a look at a couple of the other course builds since he's been working on his, and I had given him some ideas on his video in the comments, so he came over to mine, had a look, and subscribed. So thanks, Tony, I appreciate that. Shout out to you for that. I really appreciate the subscription. And yeah, well, thanks for all those that have subscribed, and we'll keep going on the course, and the next one I should be closer to being finished and using it on a continuous basis. So thanks everybody for watching, and stay safe, and we'll see you at the next one. Cheers.